I am Sumit. I am the founder and CEO of the Deploy Yourself School of Leadership. And in this episode, I opened my heart out. I shared where I came from, and I shared the deep truths which often are very difficult for us to share, and also connected it with what I am doing today. And for anybody who is listening, listen to it very carefully. This could be one conversation that could make a big impact for you. And listen it for you, not for me.
Now, welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Online Prosperity Show, your premium destination for exclusive insights into the journeys of transformative leaders. I'm your host, Prosper Taruvinga, and today we're going to be diving deep into the world of authentic leadership with a guest whose story is as inspiring as it is enlightening. Now, Sumit, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, the pleasure is all mine. For those that are meeting Sumit for the very first time, well, he is the founder of Deploy Yourself School of Leadership. Now, he came from being a self-described invisible software engineer who is now a no-nonsense leadership coach. And Sumit's journey is just a testament to the power of self-discovery and intentional living. And you want to know what his mission is? It's to help leaders break free from the confines of conventional success and step into their life of purpose and impact. Those are some really heavy words, and we're going to be dissecting all of that and what that actually means for everybody that is participating on the show. And before we actually get serious, let's maybe start off on a place that even Sumit didn't even know I knew. Tell us a little bit, Sumit, what does dropping a pen have to do with leadership?
Ah, so you found that somewhere. So this is an exercise which I often do with my clients, and it's a very simple thing. I will pick up a pen and then I will drop it, and I will ask people, "Why is this pen falling?" And normally the first answer which everybody shares is it's because of gravity. But then I question them further. Okay, that's a perfect answer, but there is another reason this pen is falling. So I will keep on dropping the pen, and I will ask people why is it dropping? And then somebody will raise their hand and say that it's falling because you are dropping it. And that's and for me this is a metaphor for life. Both answers are right in this example. Like the pen is falling because of gravity, but the pen is also falling because I am dropping it. Now, gravity is something which I can't do anything about. I have no control over. And gravity doesn't change whether I believe in gravity, whether I like gravity, whether I hate gravity, whether I disagree with gravity. Gravity is just what it is. It is not against me, right? Gravity is not working against me when I am dropping the pen. Gravity is not for me, it's neutral. And the same thing happens when we work, when we have big dreams, when we are leading big companies. We can always look at what is our challenge, what is facing us. And there can always be two answers. One is an answer like gravity, other people, market, economy, like my luck, whatever. There are things which you can answer, which you have no control over. And what I see is most people spend their time thinking about, worrying about, or planning for things which they have no control over. And yet, there is a simpler, easier answer, which is what is your role in that, right? What is the version of dropping the pen, like you are dropping it? What is the version of that if your team is not performing? What is the version of that if you're having a conflict with your partner? What is the version of that if your company is not growing? And it's a very simple metaphor, but I always say that once you shift to the answer which you have in your control and actually put your attention there, your entire life will change. Life will become so much simpler. You will eliminate stress, and you will actually start to take action and start moving towards the future that you want instead of fighting against something which, anyways, you don't have any control over.
I like that. And it's quite simple yet profound, because so many of us are trying to change things like the weather or, like you said, the economy and things that don't
Yeah,
even require our own input. Whereas you're right, I'm not letting go of all my pens. If you can see, none of them are falling and I'm not dropping any of them to the ground because this I can control. But
yeah,
this I can't. And I quite
yeah.
like that particular statement. So, having obviously worked in spaces where so many things were out of your control, one of the things was you were an invisible engineer yourself. Tell us a little bit about how you got to that position, and maybe you can tell us what was within your control and what couldn't you control.
Yeah, I mean, let me share a bit of my story before I share that invisible part of me. So I grew up like in a very limited financial means in India, in Delhi. That's where I grew up. I also saw my mom being sick. So she was sick like from the earliest that I remember, like from starting with asthma, then rheumatoid arthritis, and later on with cancer. So one thing which I heard from like my parents, and which I also like kind of imbibed very early, that I have to work hard. Like I have to become the studious. I have to be very good at education, and I have to basically save the family or get the family out of this situation. So I became very good at focus. I became very good at dedication. Very good at studies. Very good at like math, physics later on, computers later on. But at the same time, like almost think anything else like sports, communication, anything social as a waste of time or as not directly productive to what I was facing at that point of time. So that made me a very good engineer. That made me a very good, like technical, smart, analytical person, a very good thinker, but almost invisible. Nobody knew I was existed. So even today, it is very easy for me to join a meeting, a room, and people and walk out of that meeting understanding a lot about the topic, but almost being invisible for the participants, other participants. Like you will ask other participants about Sumit, and they will say, "Who Sumit?" Like I've become very good at like almost sitting at the back, wearing clothes which are not like any bold colors, any highlighting, not raising my hand, not bringing up anything uncomfortable, and totally silently listening, digesting everything, but never speaking up, never making myself be invisible. So that's how I started. That's how what made me a good engineer. But again, what I do today, that probably crippled me before I even got like a start in that, because I was not a leader. I was a very good supporter. I was a very good like engineer to support a company, to support somebody, but I was never a leader. And it took me a long time to even see that like this is my childhood, and that has shaped me into almost like staying hidden and staying away from limelight, and to become good in one way, but also coming in the way of my own dreams, as I wanted to have more dreams and more impact for myself.
Absolutely. And obviously, if you tell us now that that's the person you were, that's a whole different character that you now portray, and you're a good
Yeah.
storyteller now, and you are actually quite engaging. um how did this shift happen?
So it happened through a few accidents. In fact, one thing which I would once again share about my parents. I think one thing which they always told me, or which I've heard from them, is you can do it. Even though we did not have the resources or the history or the evidence, they never said you can't do it or this is beyond you. If I had a dream, if I wanted to do something, and this is not just professional, like I bought a motorbike, and I'm also very small. Like physically, I am very small. I am 5'4". I don't weigh a lot, maybe 55, 60 kgs. But I bought a heavy motorcycle to tour across India, and my parents were scared, like literally, genuinely scared. But they said you can do it. Like if this is what you want to do, go out and do it. You will figure out a way. And I remember the first 6 months that I was driving that motorcycle, I was literally like not able to handle the weight of that. But I loved that. But they always encouraged me to do something which I wanted to do and never create a barrier. And because of which, I will share a story. It was 2011, I think. I can never forget this story. There was an anti-protest march happening, anti-corruption protest happening in multiple cities of India. And I was living in Bangalore at that time. I found out about this march and I sent out an email to the organizers that when is this march happening? I want to join this march. Right? I am passionate about anti-corruption and living in a free society, open society. So when can I join this march? And they replied back that there is a march happening for other cities, but no march happening for your city. And then they ended the email with, uh, "Would you like to organize one?" Now I didn't knew who these guys are. They didn't know me, and I had no idea about how to do anything outside of like being a software engineer, being an introverted techie, going deeper into books and research. I had no idea how to do anything social. But I don't know what happened. Maybe it was my parents' voice, like you can do it. But I replied to that email and saying yes, yes, I want to organize one. And it was supposed to be organized together on a date which was just 40 days ahead. So the next 40 days, I had to do things which I did not even knew was required when I said yes to that opportunity. And I had to build a team. I had to build a team of volunteers. I had to raise money. I had to go out, speak with political activists. I had to go out and speak with like prominent personalities, like media personalities, judges. I have to go out to the police and get media permission for the route. I have to go out to media personalities, get publicity for what we were doing, get coverage for the march itself. And I had to do so many things which I did not even knew that were required when I said yes to that. In those 40 days, I became a totally different person. Like, I still can't believe what happened in those 40 days. It's difficult to imagine what I managed to do, which was after those 40 days, 400 people marched 11 kilometers without any incident. Everything was like protected by the police, and everything was very peaceful. But I became a totally different person. And for me, it was like eye opening. Like, for until that time, which was like 28 years of my life, I was 28 or 29 back then. I was living under a bubble that I could do this and I couldn't do that. Like, I am good at computers, analytics, anything requiring like my brains, but anything which requires human interaction, I was not good at that. And I never gave even a chance to myself. So that totally opened up horizon of possibilities for me. And one question which I started asking, which I still continue to ask today, is if I can do that, what else can I do? Like, if I can do that march, which I never gave myself even a chance, what else can I do today that I am not even giving myself a chance today? So that's a bit of my story and how I started to step outside from being the invisible, the second hand leader, to becoming like somebody who leads, who is in the limelight, who is willing to step outside, make mistakes, to sometimes even look like a fool, but continue to still chase your dreams, chase your like whatever impact that you want to make, whether it's in the business world or whether it is something tangential to business, like I shared.
Absolutely. I mean, 400 people marching 11 kilometers. Obviously, yes, the cause was well established, but they didn't know who their leader was. And you literally had to lead this. Uh, why did you stop there? You could have gone into politics and become the prime minister. I mean, with such a track record, you could actually run your own campaign.
I can, yeah, and maybe I did. So after that, I started an NGO. I
Right.
started a non-governmental organization, and I ran it for 2.5 years. And I supported many founders or many people who wanted to fight for a cause do their own individual campaigns. So I did that for almost 2.5 years. And we had, at one point, we had teams in 6 different cities which were running independently. So it's the same model which I did for myself. I kind of started coaching and mentoring other people who wanted to do as part of this foundation that I created. And then they were running their own projects in 6 different cities. So I did that for 2.5 years.
Wow.
And if you want me to go deeper, right, after that, what happened was my mom passed away. So my mom passed away from cancer. And she was like my biggest cheerleader. She was my biggest supporter. As I said, right, I was doing these crazy things outside. I was still working. I was still working. I was still being an IT engineer. But I started an NGO. I started bike riding all over India. I was traveling on my motorbike, which was I think two times my body weight, or maybe even more than that. and but she passed away, and then somehow I lost all fire. I lost all motivation or energy. And at that point of time, I just shut off everything. I went back into my shell, so to speak, and just started like just living life one day at a time. So now I'm back, but it took me almost 8 years to actually digest what happened with my mom and stop seeing this as a tragedy. To now, what I'm doing, basically what I often say is that I'm taking her work forward. I'm taking her legacy forward by being for my clients, by being for other people who are doing something great, by doing what she was for me, or what both my parents, like my father is still there, so they have never stopped supporting me. So what they have been for me, now I do it. I carry it forward for others who want to big impact, who want to leave a big impact, who want to make a difference in the world out there.
Absolutely. And obviously, thank you for carry on that legacy, even though you needed time to recover from that, as your mom had really played a pivotal role in your upbringing and your work. Now, because of her influence really made it easy for you to realize who you were becoming. Now, what sort of things are you now doing, like you said, because it feels like her influence is continuing to guide you in your personal and professional life?
Yeah, exactly right. So I'll share a few examples.
Yes, sir.
So one is I am working with many companies. I am working with entrepreneurs who want to scale their business and make a massive impact in the world. I am working. I will give you a couple of examples from the business world, and then I will share an example from the non-business world as well. Because for me, this is life. This is not just business or professional or personal. This is all the same now. So one of my clients is a third generation family business owner. Their company has been in operation for the last 50 or 60 years, and now they want to take it to a totally different level. They want to run it from a change it from a, like a family run business to a very professional run business, and they also want to like step outside of the business and have a professional management at the same time while scaling the business to multiples of what they are today. So that's one engagement that I am working with. When I work with a founder like this, I am doing multi-year engagements. I'm not doing short-term work. I'm doing work which will shape the next few generations, right? So this founder comes from that heritage, that legacy, and they want to give it forward. So that's my work with this founder. There's another founder that I have been supporting for the last 4 years. Their company has grown by 6x in the last 4 years. So that's the kind of impact that I want to create, and that's an example. I'll give you another example because this is the business world. This is the like the coaching for business owners. But for me, people who want to leave a big difference in the world, people who have dreams in their eyes, passion in their heart. And there is once you have that dream, for me, period. You don't need anything else. That's enough. So I am working with a former Indian volleyball captain. So a former Indian volleyball captain is my client, very similar to these founders. And this guy has a vision to put Indian volleyball into Olympics by 2036. So this is a 12-year vision. And he is a former Indian volleyball captain. So he knows the inside and outside of the sports. But after his retirement, what he has done is he has built a grassroots volleyball league. It has started from one state in India, and now it is expanding to every state in India. So he is almost individually doing everything is what is required to create passion for the sport of volleyball, create an ecosystem, create an infrastructure which is missing, raise the funds, train the athletes, the people starting from under 12. So he's starting from under 12, taking them to the highest level, including the ecosystem, which includes the funding, the facilities, the coaches. So he recently organized a coaching certification program with the International Volleyball Federation, which happened after 10 years in India. And he did it on his own. And he asked the federation to do it as for free for these coaches who would have to otherwise like pay $10,000 to $20,000 and actually travel outside of India to get certified as a volleyball coach. So after 10 years, it happened for the first time in India. So again, this is an example of a former athletes. Now, this is a totally non-commercial engagement for me. But for me, this is what I do. This is who I am. Like people who want to make an impact like that, shape generations to come. And whether I am working with a founder, whether I am working with a leadership team or somebody like that, my work is the same. I work on the people. I work on the person in front of me. I work on how they see the world, how they speak, how they listen, how they deal with the pressure, the stress which comes up, the ups and downs of doing something like that. My work is the same, but these are two examples from the business world and non-business world that shapes what I do today.
Absolutely. Now, Sumit, if you don't mind me, having a dig at what you're doing, it's like you are now working predominantly with people. Whereas before, you as an engineer, you were just obviously focused on the kind of work that you were doing. And I think this sort of transition from this tech career to now founding Deploy Yourself School of Leadership is such a difference in the way people know
Yeah,
how the brain functions. As a tech, successful tech person or engineer, you would be very, very left-brained in the way that you operate and
hmm,
approach problem solving. And when now you're dealing with people, legacy and impact, this is very right brain way of thinking. Maybe you could tell us where you found that turning point in your life, because it's a significant change if you really look at what I'm talking about here.
absolutely right. When I first discovered computers, I remember I was 16 or 17, and I was really happy because meant to me that now I can build a career without talking to people.
Yes,
Like
that's where
that was the reason that I chose computers, and I was really happy that there's something called like software engineering, which was just coming up like late 90s. It was just coming up at that point of time. But it shifted for me because I had dreams. Because I was not somebody. I've seen my parents do multiple businesses, step outside of their comfort zone. So I had dreams. Like I gave that example of the anti-corruption march. I started an NGO. I started companies, right? So before doing this whole thing, I started a technology company, right? Because I knew technology. So let me create a tech startup. So I created that startup. But again, it failed miserably because I had no idea how to do sales and marketing. Like I was not even good at that. For a long time, I did not even think that was even required. I just assumed if I was good in technology, something it will work out on its own, which a lot of founders like have that illusion. So I had dreams. I wanted to do something, but there was a point I think when my mom passed away, and when I went back to my shell. I was back in my engineering job, technical job, and there was a point where I said, like, if if the rest of my life is like that, like what the hell is even the point? And I think there was a breaking point there. Like if even if everything fails, I am willing to bet my life on that. I'm willing to bet my life on following my dreams and miserably fail rather than staying in a comfortable position which looks successful, which looks reputed from the outside.
Mm.
But I was almost not feeling alive from the inside. So for me, that was the shift. And then I had support from so many people along the way. I did not do it alone, and I wouldn't say it was easy. Right? It's tough to shift your personality from that what you said, like the left brain, to almost what I do is speaking to people all day and supporting them in having the difficult conversations, the most difficult conversations that either they are avoiding or they are not able to deal through in their business, in their life. So it's a complete shift. And as I shared earlier, right, I don't believe if I show what I am doing as a movie to the Sumit who was 10 years ago or 20 years ago, that Sumit wouldn't believe what I'm doing. But I wouldn't to for anybody who's listening, I wouldn't give them the illusion that it was easy.
I mean, obviously, now that we are already stepping into that sort of way of thinking, so you speak about fear and obviously stepping into the spotlight, and there's comedian Seinfeld mentions that somebody would rather be in the coffin than be the one that is giving out the eulogy or speaking in front of people at that
Mm.
sort of funeral. Now, how did you manage to overcome that fear of being in the spotlight, and what sort of advice would you give to others that are facing similar challenges?
Yeah, yeah. So I think for a long time, when people would ask me, why are you not going after your dreams or doing what you wanted to do, I would use the same word, fear. I would use the same word that I am afraid of this or that. And many times it's again a misconception that people who do that, like being in the coffin or giving an eulogy, like the person who is giving the eulogy or speaking in front of a stage is probably more scared and more fearful than the person who is comfortable and hiding, like in their corner. So I wouldn't say I overcome the fear. My definition of courage is doing something despite of the fear, not because you have overcome it. And that's what I started to doing. I basically made a call that I'm no longer okay to hide. I'm no longer okay to like stop avoiding failure. And I immediately started to get outside of my comfort zone and started grabbing opportunities, grabbing chances to speak. And that obviously that does not mean you leave alone your strengths. So as an introvert, right, as a left brain person, you preparation is your strength, listening is your strength. It's not like you are all bad. You can't speak in public. Introverts can actually be very good public speakers. So I relied on my strengths. So I would prepare. First of all, I would prepare for whenever I have an opportunity like that. But then I would also stop and ask questions from the audience. So I would use my listening skills and I would not like do a monologue. I would always engage the audience. I will make it interactive so that I can listen to people, which is one of my strengths. Somebody speaks a sentence to me, I can automatically listen 2 layers deep. So I started to use that in my public speaking. My public speaking became more public interactions rather than public speaking. So even to this day, if somebody says, I want you to give a keynote, what I have to say is like, let's do a 15-minute keynote and the rest of the time, I want to do a Q&A. That's where I really shine. So I started to do it my way. But at the same time, I did not wait for overcoming the fear or feeling totally comfortable. I started to put myself on the stage. And now I would say, like 4 or 5 years in, I am a lot more comfortable than what I was 4 or 5 years. But I would still not say that I have overcome fear. I'm still afraid when I'm on the stage. I'm still nervous. But now I know there is something deeper. I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it for the audience. And I'm doing it my way. I'm not doing it like I'm not giving 1 hour keynotes. I don't know if that's my thing. I will give a 15-minute keynotes and no matter who is in front of me, I will make it engaging. I will make it interactive. I will ask people to ask questions, and I will answer those questions. And that's a different way maybe of doing it my way. But this is what I would share with everybody. So first of all, don't wait for the perfect situation or the fear to go away, and do it your way. Rely on your strengths.
I like that. And I think from what you're saying, some people want to be impressive, do a 2 hour, 3 hour keynote, and then they're the ones that are in front and things of that nature. But from what you're saying, it's not about being impressive, but it's about being honest and really knowing what your strengths are and what your capacity is. And I'm supposing this is what you help your clients also embrace so that they are capable of not
Yeah,
overextending themselves.
absolutely right. So in a way, right? Yes, I have moved the left brain to right brain, but I have not like totally done what everybody is telling me to do. Like when I was still working in an organization, I was still leading teams. I would remember that because I was an introvert, I would really love one-on-one conversations. I would really love those intimate conversations. Now, even if I am speaking in front of groups or I am talking to my clients, I am just doing the same thing. I am still engaging with them in very intimate, very deep, very powerful, either one-on-one or with small groups. I'm not talking to 100 people at a time. I'm talking to 8 people, 12 people, 20 people, maybe maximum. But I'm talking to small groups and I'm still not doing chit chat. I'm still not doing like superficial conversations filled with a lot of heavy words, buzzwords. I'm getting very real. I'm having very intimate conversations, even when I am with a group. So it's not like I have totally shifted. Yes, I'm doing things which were impossible to me earlier, but I have kept relying on my strengths and I have built up over my strengths rather than ignore them and then trying to do totally which is outside of my skin.
Is this what you then call deploying yourself?
Absolutely. Absolutely
Mm,
right. Understanding what you are good at and yet at the same time not giving up of any of your dreams. If you have a dream, then go after it. I think that's your number one responsibility or even privilege being a human being. That's the best gift you can give to another human being if you can do what you want to do, right? And say what you want to say and don't hide behind, okay, what will they think? How will this look? Will this work or not? If, like, for as a parent, I think this is your biggest gift to your child, right? If you fulfill your passion, if you go after success or failure is outside of your control, like that's like gravity. But you doing what you say you want to do is your biggest gift to your children. It's your biggest gift to your team also. If you're leading a company and you speak your mouth, if you speak your truth, that's the biggest gift you have to your team, including saying that I am scared, including saying that I have no clue in this situation. I have an example of a CEO client that I was working with who was hiding bad news from their team because they would leave, because they would not appreciate. And after one of our coaching sessions, they actually went out and say, like, we are in a tough spot. I probably will not be able to pay your salaries or give you bonuses this year. And their fear was like people will leave, people will criticize. And what happened after this sharing, which was very difficult for the CEO, uh, was everybody participated in, like, how can I help? People volunteered to take some pay cuts. Yes, some people got offended and they left, but a lot of people volunteered to take pay cuts and to not even pressure the CEO into bonuses and all of that. And they basically said, okay, how can we help the company move to the next stage? Which he said, like, I was totally not expecting that. I was not accepting, like, people to participate, and it makes their life so much easier. It's very easy as a CEO to just put on that, like, solid persona. I have to save everybody. I have to fix everybody's problems. I have to be always in a cheerful mood. But that honesty, that, like, saying what is internally true for you, is such an important thing, that probably a bigger lesson for leadership, for their team, even for their family, than any other strategy or big bold move that you find in books or like leadership courses and stuff like that. So
Mm,
that's the work that I do, helping people become really authentic with each other, and then still not giving up their dreams. Like, so nobody is saying that, okay, there is a recession, so you give up. Oh, this is a tough time. Don't hide it, but say, what can we do now together?
absolutely. So it feels like we really do have a choice as leaders, in order for us to, lead authentically and with honesty. And this actually makes it easy for people that are in our employ to rally
Yeah,
behind everything that we're doing.
absolutely. We always have a choice. I think that's one of the things, right? When we talk about that example of why does the pen fall, the problem becomes when we don't see that we have a choice to look at what is our role. Okay, life is tough, economy is tough, everything is going bad, but we still have a choice. We still have a choice. Without changing anything of the outside world, we can still move towards our dreams, whatever our goals and visions are. And we always have a choice which is totally, completely in our control.
I like that. And is that the reason why you named your podcast Choosing Leadership?
Absolutely. Almost everything that I do, even my programs, use that two words, choosing leadership. And for me, leadership is a choice. It's not a choice which you make one time, right? When you become a leader or when you get a title, it's a choice which you have to make every day, almost every moment, because it's not easy. Leadership is not easy. And that's why leaders are meant to be applauded, or like, because most people would not take away those responsibilities which leaders take. Like, they're setting themselves up for failure or like a difficult path. But yes, you have to make those choices every day. It's very easy to surrender that choice to gravity. Gravity could be like my co-founder. Gravity could be my investor. Gravity could be the economy. Various different things. But it's a choice which you have to make every day, every moment.
Absolutely. And for those that want to defy gravity and maybe be as weightless as somebody who's going out to space, what will be the best way to maybe start their journey towards learning from you or getting in touch with you?
I think one of the best ways to simply get connected, get real with themselves, get connected to their dreams, their passion. Like, what is it that they really want to do? As long as you are a human being, I know that every human being has a dream, even if it is hidden deep inside. So bring that out. Then one of the ways that I can support somebody is I have a simple questionnaire on my website, which I have six choices as a leader. That So the questions are very simple. There's a set of 30 questions, and basically, after answering those questions, which are self-reflective in nature, you will see where you stand in those six choices. And based on where you stand, you will see your performance, your happiness, your ability to enjoy life directly proportionate with how you rate yourself on these six choices. So anybody who is interested, they can go to my website, they can take that questionnaire, answer those 30 questions for themselves, and they will see in sometimes very black and white, very uncertain terms, what are their strengths, what are they already doing, which is good, and what are those areas where they are not doing as good, which is not bad, which is not a weakness, but it's potentially an area or an hidden opportunity for them that probably they are not even giving themselves a chance. Like just like I, for a long time, did not even give myself a chance. There are things for each and every one of us where a different future awaits us, but we are not even giving ourselves a chance to look in that direction, let alone move in that direction.
Absolutely. And I'll definitely put all those links in the show notes so that people can actually start their way moving forward with you. And for those that are watching right now, can you maybe in the comments below let us know when you actually chose leadership as the way to go, either being authentic to yourself or being honest to the people that you are leading. Now, in life, you are obviously going to come across people, Sumit, that are feeling stuck or they're burnt out or they just don't know what to do or where to get started. What sort of first step would you recommend for people to begin the process of transformation for themselves?
The first step, which I would always say, is to take care of yourself. Like just like we hear in airplanes, put your own oxygen mask first. So if you're going through a tough time, if you're not sure, take some time for yourself, right? Make sure you are eating healthy, you're sleeping well, you're treating your body with nutrition, with rest. One of the things which I see with the high performers or people with big dreams is they sometimes can become their own worst enemy. They can become their own self-critic. So the first thing which I would always say is take care of yourself. You know what you need to do. Take care of yourself, even if it means setting some boundaries, saying no to a few people, and then reach out. Then when reach out to help, reach out for partnerships, reach out, start talking to people. Take the first step in the direction of your dreams, but don't take that first step when you're yourself struggling, when you're yourself suffering or starving for air, right? Something like that. Take care of yourself first, get comfortable, get grounded, and then with a solid foot on the ground, then you can take a jump. You can't take a jump if you don't have a solid ground to lean upon. Then reach out to me, reach out to anybody. There are hundreds of people who can help you. Maybe your friends, your former managers, former bosses, and a lot of other people like me. But take care of yourself first and then reach out. Make a big, bold ask from somebody in the direction of your dreams and then see what happens. You probably, and I would say this to everybody, including me, you're probably more powerful than you give yourself credit for. You probably can do more than you currently think you can do. So give yourself a chance, but first of all, take care of yourself.
Absolutely, and I quite like that, and it really sings well because when we started the call, you were telling us about how you bought this monster of a bike, and you're a
Yeah.
small type person, but you managed to go around India, on that big monster of a bike and things of that nature. Now, can't thank you enough for the time that we spent on the call today. And I mean, obviously, your life story and your experience have so much value for those that are seeking either leadership values or just, some sort of inspiration for them to be, do, and have a happier existence. But you've brought us into your world now, Sumit. Now you need to let us know what's next. What can we expect that you're working on or that you're going to be putting out in the future that we can be excited to jump on board and be a part of?
Absolutely. So I'm just getting started, right? I'm just starting to fly, so to speak, right? So there's a lot which I'm going to be doing in the coming years. I'm completing a book which will be released very soon. So that's one thing which will come out. I'm also active on YouTube. I have a podcast on my own. And again, very different kind of conversations which you don't find anywhere else, like deep, meaningful, intimate conversations. I shared about the example of like the former Indian volleyball captain. I am talking to so many people who want to change the world, right? From both from a business point of view and from a non-commercial point of view. So you will probably see a foundation coming up in a few years. You will probably see me expanding. Right now, I am based in Amsterdam. I already work across continents, but you will see this happening. What I am doing happening more across different cities in Europe, in different, even to the US, maybe in a few years. But I see this expanding. I think people who have a big dream, people who have that mantle of leadership, which is not easy, I think they need all the support that they can get. And more than the big dreams, I think one message that I want to end with is that these people who want to shift not just their lives but even generations to come, I am here for you, and they can always count on me. We might work together, we might not work together, but if ever you have a question, if ever you just want to share and just want me to listen or anything, they can always count on me. They can reach out to me, they can reach out to my team, they can reach out to my content which I have. But that's the purpose of my life, to support those who have those big dreams in themselves and who are willing to go beyond the fear, who are courageous enough to say, yes, I am afraid, and still I'm going to go on because this is so much more important than just my life.
Absolutely. This is like a rallying the troops, just like you did and rallied all those 400 people to join you in the anti-corruption march. But while you were talking, Sumit, you actually committed the ultimate crime on the Online Prosperity Show, because you do not let us know you've got a book coming out and not pledge to come and launch it on the Online Prosperity Show. So you've got 2 seconds to redeem yourself, sir.
Absolutely right. So I have a book coming out very soon. It is titled Struggling with Strengths, and how we unconsciously let our strengths come in our way. So absolutely, I invite everybody to reach out to me or to follow me on my website and get ready to buy that book, to read that book and shift your lives for the better. And my message to everybody who consumes any of my content is, send me a simple note, send me an email, send me something with how what I have shared with you, whether it's a book, whether it's a video, impacted your life. There's nothing that makes me more happier, more filled with joy when I receive a message from somebody that, like somebody who is a stranger or whom I know, but they read something, they've watched me speak on something, and they say, "Oh, I changed this in my life. Oh, I went out and had that conversation." That's the reason I do what I do. So those little words of appreciation, of acknowledgement, matters a lot to me. So if you can, like, not just read the book or read the video or watch the video, but again send me a note and leave a comment below, then that's everything for me.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing your profound insights and experiences with us. I mean, your journey from somebody who was invisible to now being this impactful leader is truly inspiring. And for those that are watching right now, if Sumit's story resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your experiences or reflections in the comments below. And if you've ever felt like you're hiding from your true potential, now is your time to share it with the world and showcase what you've been working on. And also tell us, what steps have you taken to deploy yourself? And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to the Online Prosperity Show for more conversations like this that inspire transformation, because in the next episode, we're going to be sharing ideas that will help you lead a happier and more fulfilled life. And if you found today's conversation as insightful as I have, check out the links in the show notes so that you too can deploy yourself. And obviously, I'll lead you to connect with Sumit on LinkedIn also, and his YouTube channel. I want you to remember one thing: the journey to authentic leadership begins with a single choice. I want you to make yours today. Bye for now.